So if we're going to write ourselves a Bill of Rights, I think America's Bill of Rights is pretty good, but I feel it's not complete. The Bill of Rights is great. I don't think I have a single problem with any one of them. But we need some more. We need some more. Freedom is, that comes from God. It's an important virtue. You're supposed to protect justice, domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, and protect freedom. So I'm going to take a look at the 1805 Haitian Constitution and then talk about some of the freedoms and other parts of the document that I like. Article 2 in the 1805 Haitian Constitution banned slavery right off the top. Right off the top. I even heard that Haiti was the first one to ban slavery and keep it banned. So technically France had banned it earlier, 1794, but then they didn't implement it in all the colonies, and then Napoleon is going to reverse the implementation in Haiti. So France outlawing slavery, those ideas got to Haiti, and then the Haitians believed in it, and then Napoleon rose, and then he tried to come back and then recolonize. Napoleon fucked the fuck up. Napoleon fucked the fuck up big time. He just wanted to stay an oppressor and then spent a bunch of money and a lot of blood to re-oppress a people that never want to be oppressed to begin with. So Article 2, slavery is forever abolished. Slavery is forever abolished. So Haiti was a nation of freedom at her inception. Later on, you're going to have Frederick Douglass that's going to sit there and try to mull over if the American Constitution is a document for slavery or a document for freedom. Because both the Confederates and the Union said that they were going to protect the Constitution. And there's a couple clauses. The Fugitive Slave Act, the 3/5 clause, the slave importation clause. So they dance around the issue of slavery. It institutionalizes slavery in America, but there's no word slavery. You cannot find the word slavery in the U.S. Constitution. A lot of the founders, when they wrote the Constitution, because the importation of slavery was supposed to end after 20 years. So they essentially presumed that slavery was going to die. Slavery was not going to live forever. So Frederick Douglass, he looked at America's Constitution, and he says that it's essentially a document for freedom. And it's not the Constitution that's the problem. It's the maladministration. It's the misadministration. It's the people that's in charge that are reading the document all wrong. So whereas with the U.S. Constitution, it's like, is it for slavery? Is it for freedom? I don't really know. There's no questioning Haiti's 1801 and 1805 Constitution because they banned slavery right off the top. And I want to say every other subsequent Constitution banned slavery right off at the top. Equal protection was protected in Article 3. But then it said that no Haitian were to have any titles, advantages, or privileges. Now, I've heard immunities, privileges or immunities clause, right? There's of the 14th Amendment, you got the privileges or immunities clause. There's something else. Rights, freedoms, and liberties, I guess. Those are all synonymous. What is a freedom? A freedom is the right to speak. So if you speak, well, that's a privilege. That's a privilege of speaking. And since you have the privilege of speaking, that's the thing that's being protected, is that privilege. And who does that privilege extend to? All American citizens. So while they said no titles, advantages, or privileges, I generally want to say yes to that. But privileges is freedoms, at least in U.S. jurisprudence. Freedom is synonymous with privilege. The U.S. Constitution also bans titles of nobility, which that was pretty revolutionary in its time. Article 4 of the 1805 Haitian Constitution, this one was written by the 1805 Haitian Constitution was written by Jean-Jacques Desalin. To Saint Louverture, goes down. Jean-Jacques Desalin takes his baton and then crosses the finish line. Article 4 says that the law is the same to all, whether it punishes or whether it protects. I like that phrase. I don't know if it's the English translation or if that's exactly how it was written, and they're just putting, the French straight into English. They're very similar languages in a lot of respects. Again, equal protection. So I love, every person deserves equal protection, whether it punishes or protects. The rule of law applies to everybody. The rule of law applies to everybody, whether it punishes or whether it protects. So we all get equal protection, right? The rule of law, we all get the rule of law, whether it punishes or protects. America should adopt this freedom, Article 9. No person is worthy of being a Haitian who is not a good father, good son, good husband, and especially a good soldier. They're dedicated to goodness. Where does it say that you have to be a good father, a good citizen, maybe a good citizen too? And it's not even really a rule. It's just saying no person is worthy of being a Haitian. So the way that the American one would work, no person is worthy of being an American who's not a good father, good son, good husband, good citizen, and especially a good soldier. I feel like citizen should be the main thing. Good father, good son, good husband, good soldier, and most especially a good citizen. And this one, Article 10, fathers and mothers are not permitted to disinherit their children. You did the deed, you had the sex, and now you got a baby. Yeah, no, you didn't want the baby, so you can put it up for adoption, but we can't just have a bunch of parents popping out kids and leaving their kids orphaned. Now, Jean-Jacques Desalin in 1805 is going to adopt a black republic, and there's a lot of discussion about this because he redefined race. And then to be black wasn't just to be a person from Africa or with dark pigmented skin, because he's going to ban the white man from colonizing Haiti, but he's going to accept white women because apparently white women were wives and some had been naturalized. He also gave the exception of Germans and Polanders. So his anger was squarely put on the French, because the French were the ones who were oppressing the living holy hell out of the Haitian people. But there were Germans and Polanders that lived in Haiti who Desalin saw as comrades. But if you're a citizen of Haiti, here's Article 14, all exception of color among the children of one in the same family of whom the chief magistrate is the father, being necessarily to cease, the Haitian shall henceforward be known only by the generic appellation of blacks. So Jean-Jacques Desalin would be the father of the Black Power Revolution. And even though he says every Haitian shall be known as black folks, black people, that included the white women and the Germans and the Polanders who were naturalized into the Haitian citizenry. A lot of times I feel like the word black is just counter to the word white, and white was supposed to be the, code word for the freedmen during the racialization of slavery. White was those who were free, and black were the ones who were not free. And so the Black Power Revolution, the way Desalin is envisioning it, is brilliant, because he's just saying that black is not white. So I am creating a black republic, which even means some Caucasians can be black. The Germans, the Polish, the white women, the wives, and then their children, presuming they come out light-skinned as well. One of the biggest problems with the Age of Revolution was that we, the Americans, didn't support the French and the Haitian revolutions, which was inspired by the U.S. independence. Jefferson is going to resign because of the Jay Treaty. And, Hamilton or Washington was, giving him shit about it. But Jefferson was like, is the French Revolution not the same? It's the American Revolution. The French Revolution is the American Revolution. And so since we didn't embrace the French Revolution, since we didn't save the French Revolution is ultimately going to fail. And why didn't we embrace the French? Because we had to embrace the English. And then they came back here and burnt down our fucking White House. We should have embraced the French Revolution. We should have embraced the Haitian Revolution. We inspired those. We inspired them. And I guess revolutions are a gamble, but in life, just one big war. And all war is essentially evil unless it's revolutionary. So you don't want to just support any and all revolutionary movements, but if it's a revolution whose time has come, you should definitely support it mentally. You should definitely speak about it. And then even, finance it. Give it weapons. Give it money. We'll sit there and give weapons and money to a colonizer, oppressor, molester, fascist, totalitarian pile of shit like Israel. But it's hard to abandon Ukraine for the same reason. Zelensky is talking about the Battle of Saratoga. I don't hear any Americans talking about the Battle of Saratoga. You remember how the Battle of Saratoga and the U.S. Revolution turned the tide of the revolution? Yeah, of course you don't, because you're a fucking dumbass American. The Ukraine situation is a revolution. They're being oppressed by a foreign government that's oppressing them. It's one thing to be critical of the military-industrial complex. And if we're being serious, I wouldn't be against being isolationist, but since we are an empire, it's like, why not actually do some damn good? We got 1,000 military bases all over the world. I'm not for sure what 99% of them damn bases are doing. But the shit that we're doing in Ukraine, we are defending a revolutionary movement who's trying to, fight over their colonizer, their oppressor, imperialist oppressors. Russia's a big fucking country anyways. So by supporting Ukraine, you're both being revolutionary and in some respects conservative because you're, keeping the world order of which America benefits. So it's both conservative and revolutionary. When communism burst out onto the scene, with Marx and then big time with the Russian Revolution, and then the Chinese Revolution, then the Cuban Revolution. There's a lot of conversations about should we have communism in one country or should we try to spread communism all throughout the world? Well, if America is being smart, that's what we should do. If communism is going to try to spread to the entire world, then we should either A, make sure our, American system, our revolutionary freedom and independence system is impeccable here, but we should definitely try to spread our freedom and democracy, our democratic republican principles, our constitutionalism, our 3 branches of government, the Bill of Rights all throughout the world. A couple more freedoms from the 1805 Haitian Revolution. Article 45 says that nobody can interfere with the right which every individual has of being judged amicably by arbitrators of his own choosing, whose decisions shall be acknowledged legal. Choose your judges and be judged amicably. You know how revolutionary that is? Choose your own judges. So instead of it just being this antagonistic, competitive game, by choosing your judges, and maybe we should call them arbitrators or mediators, you're choosing the one that you think is most fair. You're not just being stuck with some fucking asshole that either got appointed or elected or who knows how the fuck he was just a beneficiary off of his plutocratic father. But when we pick our own judges, when we pick our own arbitrators and mediators, that means we trust that person more than we trust the other person to make a fair and even-handed decision. That's the best thing you could say for a judge, is that they were fair and balanced, that they were even-handed, that they were fair and square. The whole point of the law is to prevent one person from injuring another person. So that means if somebody has a claim against somebody else, then that means there's two parties that's involved. So not only is it revolutionary for America to adopt this, because by choosing your own judges, I could see how that could go, awry. Because maybe you take forever to choose a judge, and then if you're only limited to 20 judges and they're all fucking corrupt, then what do you do then? But that's at least better than just being stuck with some asshole. And then sometimes they like to switch, play merry-go-round, play musical chairs. Who are you? I got used to that other judge. They called me in. Yeah, they couldn't bend your will, so they called me in to try to bend your will. So they just fucking switch off whenever the fuck they feel like it. So in America, it's the exact opposite. You have no choice in your judges. The judges actually get to choose you. And then if they can't force you into submission, then they'll pick another judge to force you into submission. So not only is choosing your own judges revolutionary, but also being judged amicably. To be judged amicably, meaning on friendly terms. You're not just trying to fuck dude over or fuck, the lady over. Desalin improved Toussaint Louverture's constitution by allowing freedom of religion and no establishment of religion. In the 1801 Haitian constitution, Toussaint Louverture had forced all of his countrymen to be Catholic. He says, we're all going to be French, we're all going to be Catholic. So Toussaint Louverture's, the 1801 Haitian constitution was revolutionary in a lot of senses, and I will actually read that one too to see which of the freedoms I think that America should use, because I like the Bill of Rights. So we'll keep the Bill of Rights, but I think it's past time to update this piece of parchment. Thomas Jefferson says that we should have had a revolution every 20 years. And so I'm going to try to, write another Bill of Rights. So Desalin had improved on Louverture because he allowed freedom of religion. He actually says we will tolerate religion. And then he also says that there's no establishment of religion. So that's the same thing as our First Amendment. The government can't pick one religion over any other religion, but you get the freedom to religion. You get the freedom to express yourself as long as it's not a threat to the public peace. The right to safety in your own home. Article 6 of the 1805 Haitian Constitution says the house of every Haitian citizen is an inviolable asylum. The house of every citizen is an inviolable asylum. America needs to adopt this freedom as well. Article 7, it cannot be entered. Your home can't be entered into, but in case of conflagration, inundation, and reclamation from the interior or by virtue of an order from the emperor or from any other authority legally constituted. Conflagration, inundation, reclamation. Is this the translator rhyming these words, or were these words already rhyming in French? So, pardon my French, you motherfuckers, you sons of bitches. But I had to look those up. Conflagration is fire. So whenever there's a big fire, an extensive fire which destroys a great deal of land or property, then we might be able to enter into your home. Whenever there's an inundation, when you have too many people in your home, an overwhelming abundance of people or things, you got too much shit, too much people, or reclamation. So whenever the state tries to take it back for whatever reason, there's eminent domain reasons. There's also, if you're an absentee landlord and you just let it sit there and it just goes to waste, I want to say, what was it? Bolivia said that every piece of property had to have a social purpose. So you can't just have a piece of property sitting there not doing shit. So maybe that's another one, right? Every piece of property should have a social purpose. Every piece of property to have a social purpose. Because this is going towards a new Bill of Rights. Another good freedom from the 1805 Haitian Constitution that America doesn't respect. Article 5, no person shall be judged without having been legally heard in his defense. No, the cops are the judge, jury, and executioners. And then the fucking DAs and the judges, they just rubber stamp you unless you're, a millionaire and you could afford some fucking $1 million lawyer. And even then, that lawyer's going to fuck you over because he's afraid for his job. Some little namby-pamby fucking college boy, and then one college boy, I'm the judge, so I'm over you, and so he'll be worried about his profession and whether or not he gets to keep his job, so he doesn't actually, he's supposed to be an advocate warrior for you, but if he's just going to be obedient, to whatever whims the judge is doing, then he's not going to be a good warrior whatsoever. Oh, yes, sir, judge. The judge says he wants to fuck you over, and I'm not you. I've had too many fucking lawyers do that shit. The judge is a dick to him, and then he turns around and is a dick to me. Because I jaywalked one time, and then some cop wanted to fuck me the fuck over. And then I called for a jury trial. So you should be heard in your defense before you're fucking judged. They should actually hear you the fuck out. Yeah, you have a right to remain silent. But we're just creating a criminal society. Because without the truth, you can't get objective justice. And if everybody's just keeping their mouths shut, then nobody knows what actually fucking happened. Public schools were constitutionally protected in the 1805 Haitian Constitution. It took a while. It took like 70 years for America to start instituting public schools. And a lot of it had to do with the Civil War. Because after the Civil War, black folks are getting public schools, and then white folks are like, hey, how come they get schools and we don't? So we didn't have public schools in the beginning of our nation's origin. So Haiti says we got to educate our, citizens. We got to make sure our citizens are free. Make sure that they get to pick their own judges and that they're judged amicably. And they need to at least be heard in their defense, You can't just accuse somebody and then tell them that they can't even defend themselves. Self-defense, that's a big freedom that America's Constitution doesn't have. How come America's Constitution doesn't have a right to self-defense? In some respects, I almost think you could throw America's Constitution away and then just adopt Hobbes's natural laws. His natural laws is like universal rights that he was able to deduce through common sense. There's motherfuckers in America that will tell other people not to defend themselves. No, you don't have a right to defend yourself. Why? Because I want to hit you. Because I want to be a sadistic, violent psychopath against you. You can't defend yourself. And I'm sure criminals will defend themselves. So to be the bullied, it'll be the obedient, it'll be the ones who, the Mr. Rogers of society that will be told they can't defend themselves. No, you're Mr. Rogers. You're not allowed to defend yourself, Mr. Rogers. If I want to fucking arrest you, if I want to rob you, if I want to run over your dog, R.I.P. Tecumseh, then that's my right. It's not your right, you fucking fuck. So Article 19, within each military division, a public school shall be established for the instruction of youth. Farming was protected in the 1805 Haitian Constitution. I just heard this song with Killer Mike, and he was saying, how are we going to eat? Okay, if we overthrow the system, none of us are growing wheat. So none of us are going to eat bread. We overthrow the system, how are we going to eat our bread? So we got to protect agriculture. We have to protect agriculture. That's the fruits and plants and animals and vegetables. Everybody has to eat food, water, and shelter. I think you might be able to distill what are our basic human needs that have to be met down to those 3 or 4: clothing, food, water, clothing, and shelter. Because, yeah, Robert Kennedy is right. Freedom of speech isn't taking anything from anybody else, but if you say you have a right to medicine, then you're taking property. But I feel like in the land of abundance, it's fucking criminal as shit to not let people have water, food, and housing. And yes, medicine, especially like insulin. If people aren't taking care of themselves, no, you don't want to have to take care of somebody for 30 years because they could run the bill up and that could be really expensive. So if insulin isn't free, then it should be affordable because it's plentiful and it's cheap. But the capitalists want to fucking price gouge you, so they'll overly price insulin. So the way I would say it is, you have a right to food, water, clothing, and housing, and then a right to medicine and any of the other, so-called rights, education, I would say, as long as it's available. You have a right to affordable education, and that's if it's available too. You have a right to health care, affordable health care, and affordable education, so long as it's available. Which is incredible because Obama had said that health care is a human right. But then he put his fucking friend Biden in there and kind of fucked Bernie over. If Barack wanted to protect his legacy, I heard that he was worried about his legacy, then he would have sided with Bernie Sanders. But a lot of people keep shitting on the Democrats, and frankly, if you don't realize that we live in a two-party, uniparty fucking shithole already, then I don't think there's really much hope for you. I'm just sick of motherfuckers Rush Limbaugh used to troll the liberals. Jordan Peterson trolls the liberals, meaning the leftists, meaning the socialists, the communists, anybody left of center. And you got a lot of motherfuckers that look to me like they're on the left, but they're trolling liberals as well. And if you're trying to say that the people who have a heart and who give a damn, who cares about the community, who want change, you think those are the people who are the problem? The people that want change, who cares about the community, and who gives a damn? That's who you think is the problem? Me and you got definition. Our definitions of liberal are completely fucking different. And if you're saying the Democrats are liberals, you're stupid as shit. Joe Biden was conservative as fuck. The Democrats are so liberal. Article 28 says, at the first firing of the alarm gun, the cities will disappear and then the nation will rise. Jean-Jacques Desalin was a beast. He was a beast. So, American constitutionalism, we should spread American constitutionalism all throughout the world if we're going to be smart. Because communism is, communism is winning around the world in terms of the revolutionary movements, in terms of helping people, in terms of Africa. You think you're just going to militarily colonize the entire world and they're going to be like, oh, well, they got baseball hats and they chew bubble gum. They got good movies and good music, so fuck it. We'll just be your slaves. Meanwhile, the communists are supporting revolutionary movements and they're helping to build people's countries up. That was the one good thing we did in Vietnam. When we helped with their water projects, when we helped with their infrastructure. Inundation, conflagration. I don't say conflagration enough. But, peace in the Middle East. They got fucking till noon, right? On Saturday, peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East.